Happy April Fool's Day. Arsenal would believe anything.
Well, yes.
What's up, everybody? Here we are, April Fool's Day. Welcome. What's up? Analysis stream tonight. London System submissions will be banned. Haven't been getting out much. Man, I just work constantly, but it's fun. This is our Friday night, very rare Friday night stream. This only happens like once or twice a year, so enjoy it. Let's get a beer train going. Aspirate inspired title. Boring Panov. Panov shouldn't be boring. I mean, you have like IQP positions most of the time. Shouldn't necessarily be boring. You have pawn structures, a lot of pawn structure imbalance in the Panov. There are definitely chances, for those games to be rare. That's why I like it. There are many other lines of the Caro-Kann that are boring, though. Arsenal. So you didn't submit a game for this week. Where's my stream? Where's my list of games? My whatever it's called, study. My study's mine. Give me my study, man. Alright. Oh, Richard Smith is in there? Is this the right one? This is wrong. Dude, this is wrong. Dude, what is going on here? Whoa. I guess I just didn't add them. Okay. Alright, it's not the wrong one. It's just that I didn't add all the games yet. I'll have to do it manually. What happened, Arsenal? You submitted your game at the last minute and I said I'd do it. I do it next time. Was this like one that didn't get in last time? Mr. Bites? That's weird. I feel like I was operating with a different stream study. Let me just make sure. We don't have like 2 studies for today. March 24th is the old one. Correct? Maybe I put some in the wrong one? No, that's the old one. That's clearly the old one. Alright, no problem. No, I just have a list on paper. Arsenal, you were number 1. Alright. Masturbates on the list. Let's add these up. Let me get organized here for London System Masterclass. Sorry guys. Game analysis canceled for tonight. We're doing a London System Masterclass by FIDE Master Wannabe. Chill Masterclass. Collab stream with some noob who can't play chess. It's about time. Alright, Mr. Coffee's here. Guys, gotta get the hype train. Mr. Coffee, you're the hype train conductor. Cheers, everybody. Enjoying a nice chilled Hungarian beer. You're absolutely allowed to drink on the stream because it's Friday night. After work, it's after working hours, and I'm not driving. So I give you permission to drink in the stream tonight. Doesn't mean you have to behave like, I don't know, chess bra or something. Mr. Coffee with 100 bits, getting the hype train started. Acerbate gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community again. Scariest name, La Gordon, Atharva, Swift Breeze 43, and Tizlight. These are a lot of new players. Alright, let's get our games lined up. Cheers, everybody. Okay, Richard Smith is in. Yabatis is in. That's 2. Gotta add Asterbate. Thank you, Asterbate, for... Oh, man, wrong thing. Thank you, Asterbate, for submitting your game, sir. Where is it? Please, may I submit the following game? Friday. Open. Here we go. Yes. Let me collect these games. Stream analysis stream. It's been a long week. Alright, next. Okay. We had another player. Lecky. Or Lecky. If we're doing it in Hungarian, he's Lecky. He could also be Finnish. Finnish or Hungarian. The Finno-Hungarish pronunciation is Lecky. Lecky. Alright, study. Happy April 1st. Welcome to our London System Sucks stream. Juice Box Wizard. Recard. All the troublemakers are here almost. Troublemaker crew. HTFP is like a junior troublemaker. Chess Zebra. Sumahair. Comrade Sumahair. Coming to you live from Serbia. He's been chat banned because he's a troublemaker. Game for the show we have tomorrow. There we go. Alright. Please no closed Sicilian. That's almost as bad as the London. Jess Zebra, welcome. Dr. Zebra. Chess Doc. Oh, that reminds me of this gross guy. There was a guy on ICC who called himself Chess Doc. Something like that. Not a guy I liked. Very arrogant dude. Alright, yeah, that's in there. Wow, Sumer versus Adamrod. Nice. Oh, that's gotta be like 200 moves. What's up next? Repunge. No, it was, this obnoxious guy. He was a good player. Miles Ardeman. He was a strong FIDE master. He's probably out there somewhere. Study is in study form. In a study form. Second game. Oh, okay. So that's going to be a problem. Alright, Repun will remain separated from the rest of the list. Mirales. Yeah, I think people who behave radically different when you beat them and when they lose are always interesting. You're like the nicest guy in the world when you win, but the biggest a-hole when you lose. That's interesting. I saw like Dr. and Jekyll Hyde when I analyzed with the guy. Alright, let's go. April 1st. I have to say some mean things about people. I love bashing people. Alright, that's in there. So we've got just 6 games plus Repun. Is that it? I feel like there's more that I forgot. Don't we have some Zen chess or something? Yeah. I forgot to add Zen chess. He played this guy who flagged me before. Alright. So how many is that? 8 so far. I still feel like we're missing someone. Pascal Day. Should I change the stream title back to something normal? You guys want me to leave that? I'll leave it for a while. Move 11 didn't submit any games. He's been a little short-handed on training games lately. He'll probably show up late and submit a win against me, though. Mule Skinner, thank you. Mule Skinner should be in there. He never... Yeah, that's awesome, Arsenal. Good memory. Mule Skinner never makes the games. I don't understand why Mule Skinner puts the Russian flag. Is that like a bad joke? Mule Skinner always puts them like so I can't access them. That's weird, though. No, I don't think Mule Skinner submitted a game. That's weird. I thought he did. Oh, I know what it was. No, he was on the stream and he said he doesn't have any games. There's no Mule Skinner game. He's going to play a tournament. Mr. Slow, you are correct. Welcome, sir. Fellow hype conductor. Yeah, I had an important event last night. I had to do like a video conference, and it was like London System workshop with Susan Polgar. Yeah. So very important last night. The London System workshop with Susan Polgar and Pandolfini. So I had to push it back to tonight. And Friday's great because we can drink more and not have to worry about it in the morning. Questions? Uh-oh, Arsenal, I hope you're talking to another troublemaker. Mr. Sohan, you're always welcome. One of the single biggest supporters of the stream. And we have room for at least another game. Even if I didn't have room, you'd be welcome, Mr. Slow. So, Astrobeat donated 5 gift subs. Thanks to them. 10 today to be exact. 12. 10 today. No, actually, I had this video conference with a tech company, talking to these people about application of chess to like the tech business world. It was interesting. I was like a guest speaker, so it was kind of cool. GMs and IMs actually take time. Dude, there are all these losers who play the London system. Even Dubov started doing it since he was Magnus Carlsen's helper. Yeah, it was kind of cool. My first Zoom call. Alright. Yeah, my next self-help book is coming out. Barry Elefante. Is that you? Lars Salini? Is that you, Barry Elefante? If we have time, we'll do it. Normally I reserve games for just the subscribers. So that would be the last one. Mr. Slow, are you going to send me a game? Feel free. Feel free. Mr. Coffee. That's neat. Neat. Alright. You're not saying anything. Uh-oh. That's bad. Barry Elefante, it's you or not? You have a multiple account? Is this your third account? No, take your time, Mr. Slow. I'll reserve the last place for you. Or first place. We'll see. We're gonna get started with Richard Smith versus Elwind. Elwind. What's the name of the guy from... That's L. Ron Hubbard. Elrond. The Elf King. Okay, Elrond. Reaches flashcards for London domination. C5 is more explosive. C4, don't give him the satisfaction of a kingside pawn storm. What? What's C4? I thought that was the Benoni, man. I was thinking of Dianetics to Scientology. Exactly, Jesse Brock. Elrond Hubbard. Alright, this is Elrond Adrian against Richard Smith. Richard Smith is just a pseudonym. You know that's not his real name. That's like, since he, filed for bankruptcy and got out of jail, they gave him that anonymous name. Alright, E6. We'll call him Richard Smith. John Doe. Like, he wants us to believe his real name is Richard Smith. Alright, C5. It's a Benoni. D5. E takes D5. C takes D5. G6. I just went over a couple of Benonis. Yeah, the first one you saw in the telephone book. I wanted to do a couple of Benoni. I went over a couple of Benonis with Acerbate. He's getting good. So E4, D6, Bishop D3. Acerbate, you talk a lot about Sherlock Holmes references. Are you a big fan of like Sherlock Holmes and Arthur Conan Doyle? I told you guys I was listening to a Sherlock Holmes audiobook series. Bishop D3, Bishop G7, although I know all the stories. Okay. Yeah, this line I just don't know. It's like a Saruman attack. I love its name, the normal variation. Yeah, well that doesn't fly. I'm sorry, normal variation isn't going to cut it. There's nothing normal about knight e2. I mean, it's much more common to put the knight on f3. If anything, it's not normal. So I think this move is a lot less frequent, but kind of subtle for white. I mean, it's not like a four pawns attack where you're like freeing the f-pawn and unleashing the center. The problem is, when you try to do that with white, you really want your knight on f3, where it like supports the e5 advance. Here the knight doesn't support the e5 advance, so it's kind of subtle. I mean, I don't really know. Sometimes you play f3, sometimes you play the knight to g3. There are obviously like transpositional possibilities. But Yasser is like positional genius, so he understands like the subtleties of this. I think like most people, I don't know. I would need to read like a detailed chapter of a book to fully understand how to play this with white. I don't think the alignment of pieces is like great. I played the same-ish a lot with f3, but that's different. Like, you're not really putting your bishop on d3 there. And this bishop, like if a knight comes and hits it, do you take time to like save your bishop, or do you like let him take your bishop off? Do you retreat it back to c2? I don't know. So castle, castle, and now rook e8. I mean, I could get this far, but now I'm kind of out of book. I think bishop g5 is one idea white can play. White can also play h3, maybe f3, maybe neither. But I mean, from your perspective, like a6, b5 is the normal plan. If you play a6, he's auto playing a4. So you just decide not to do a6. I mean, one of the key ideas here with the bishop on d3 might be to hit it with c4. But if you hit it with c4, it's very committal, and you may lose the d4 square. I just don't know, what I would do here with black. a6 is a no-brainer, but then, like, what do you do next? Now you don't have knight a6, for example. There's no place to put the bishop on this diagonal. So I would think maybe we just go with a straight-up knight d7. And if you play knight d7, you get hit by f4, taking away the e5 square? Another good question. So Arsenal just plays rook e8. Okay, he's keeping pressure on the e4 pawn. There is another possibility of doing like b6, but I don't love this plan. Because this is kind of like our good bishop. It's a pretty good bishop. I don't know. I don't like trading that off. We have like a lot of dark square pawns on that half of the board. It's almost like the white square bishop is our good bishop on this side of the board, and our dark square bishop is the good bishop on that side of the board. I guess to put it another way, like both the black's bishops are good bishops. This is definitely a kind of bad bishop. It's blocked by the pawns at d5 and e4. So it's not that you're trading off your good bishop, but you're like trading off his bad bishop if you play bishop a6. Tazake, welcome back. Nice job. Asterbate with a gift sub. Knight fd7. It takes pressure off the center. Normally, kind of retreats the knight away from the king side. That's going to bottle up our pieces quite a bit. That's something I would only do in a last resort. This knight, will either go here, here, maybe here. But I'm just not sure what our plan is. So it looks like white primarily plays knight g3. This can also come out of a King's Indian. Yeah, I don't even know if... the thing is, it's hard for you to break the pin. Where would you go? Queen e7, queen f8 is bad. This is bad. b6 is kind of artificial. You don't have a good way to unpin. Queen a5 is very artificial, out of play. So you play h6, but what are you going to do? He plays bishop d2. Yeah, that's what I expected. Valerie Franklock. Oh my god. 22, 23, 24. Someone asked him, a friend of mine asked him how strong he would consider himself. We had this joke. Valerie was like 22, 23, 24. He was totally exaggerating. Bishop h4. This looks like a better move. Ugh. Now we're getting somewhere. Sarawan Igor Ivanov. Ooh. Yeah, that's scarier. He's like, I dare you to play g5. How many drinks did Igor have before the game? That's the key question. 1988 in the prime. But Igor didn't play g5. He was a fantastically strong player. Even when he was drunk, he was strong. But I wonder what Igor played. He lost. Of course, Sarawan was brutally strong at that time in 1988. Knight on bd7? No. So Igor played a6. Then a4. Yeah, but Sarawan is the role model here for white. What did he do? Two people played queen c7. See, like this square, this sucks. That sucks. This queen sucks here. But you are maybe going to play c4. It's not as bad as the King's Indian. Yeah, it's not like white has a pawn on c4. So, like Arsenal mentioned earlier, the idea of playing c4 and giving this queen potentially squares, maybe it's not that bad. It looks scary. And then Igor played knight on bd7. So what would Yasser play? f4? No. Someone named Casper P. Arun. I think I've heard of that name before. Yasser played h3. Ooh, there's a bunch of games. Larry, Mark, Suat Adalik, and Yasser, as well as Gilberto Milos. Pretty good company. h3, what do we do now? Queen c7 again? Seems to be the plan. So this is Larry losing with white against Gilberto Milos, or Hernandez. Huh. A lot of games. Milos played this. Hernandez, I mean. Yeah, I don't know, man. Larry looks better here. This is better for white. He must have, like, messed up. The computer doesn't think it's that much better, though. Interesting. Just very slightly better. King h1. c4. Bishop c2. b5, and we're rolling. Yeah, that's the plan. That's a nice plan by Hernandez. Mexican Grandmaster. They had some tournaments in Mexico at one point. Alright. Anyway, let's see what Arsenal does. So, bishop g5, h6, bishop d2. This is not as dangerous. Yeah, e5 scarier there. Bishop h4 is a much scarier move. Now you played the c4 right away. This is interesting. You managed to do without playing a6. White obviously playing very solidly. You're telling me this is a 100-move game? Oh my god. Alright. Can we skip through part somewhere? Tell me where the boring part is. Man, you gotta admire Black's pieces here. Piece is very, very active. But, like, what is that message I got? Alright. Black's pieces are very active. Arsenal said the f3 Samish is the... Arsenal said the f3 Samish is the acid test of the Benoni. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I will make a comment on the structure, okay? This structure is the bomb. You know, I mean, like, with that structure, it's extremely hard for Black to do anything against the structure. Because f5 is usually very hard to play. Repon, you're very close to getting timed out. I'm warning you. I don't like you coming on the stream and, like, demanding stuff. You didn't put the game in a format that I could copy the game into the list, man. If you were kind enough to take the time to put it into a format that I could put it in a list, then it would be in the list. But instead, you put it in a study. So how am I supposed to put, like, your entire study in my list of games? Where is my game in the list? Absolutely not very nice. Alright. Not coming off as very friendly there, buddy. Show me where my game is now. It's my turn. Yeah, you have to correctly submit the game. So your game is somewhere in the middle. But I don't know when. When I decide to put it. I don't know, man. It's as deep as, like, putting the game in a PGN, and yeah. He looks clean off stream. Alright. Stop distracting me, kid. We're having a good discussion about Benoni here. The pawn structure very, very strong. Go to the back of the classroom and wait until it's your turn, and I'll call you. This pawn structure very hard to break with no f5, you know, so Arsenal's fishing around with active pieces. White is a better structure. Knight g4, h3, knight e5. Now he's got excellent control. I mean, if you get an outpost on d3, that looks awfully good. That's, like, deep in White's position. So he's trying to stop it. But, I mean, now Black can play knight b4. Mix and match. I was expecting this. But you can only put one knight on d3 at a time. Well, your next move looks like you've been studying the games of Nesmedinov or something. Funny, you're all over the map. You've got knight a6, knight g4, queen h4. But I love how active your pieces are. So if it was your turn here, and this is a useful thing to do, you could have to ask yourself, like, what would happen if you played bishop takes h3 if it was black to move here? Question is, like, well, to prevent f4, but also I think you're threatening. My point is, like, you might be threatening something. Seriously, what happens if it's black to move here? I mean, are you just blasting him with bishop takes? It's always good to know if you have an active threat. So if you take, he takes, you take. You're threatening knight g4. You're threatening to threaten. And then stuff like knight e5. It looks pretty dangerous. I think it is a threat. No, so the next move is dangerous situation. Wait, I think you're literally on the move threatening bishop takes h3. So he plays that. Now needless to say, like, white's position looks a little weird. He's backpedaled, his knights are redundant, but he's threatening maybe to play f4. Maybe to play knight f4 in some position. But knight f4 is pretty awkward. The only good plan appears to be like f4. But even that's not that big a deal. Dude, don't you have bishop takes h3? Still don't have it. Bishop h3, he just takes it. You take again. If queen h3, knight f4. I think this is the point. He has f4, or maybe better as knight f4. Guarding against mate, kicking your queen out. Unclear at best. Yeah. No, I mean, even this looks a little murky, but... Move 11! You're here for the collab with Susan Polgar? Alright. Webster University collab stream. London Masterclass. Can Arsenal play the Benoni with no pawn breaks? Do we have room for another? Did I predict that was coming? I don't know, man. Do we have room for another? Only for founders. Absolutely would be the last one. We called it. It either has to be a Susan Polgar game or a London System. Sorry. Okay. April Fool's Day. Mr. Soyan just sent me a game. Copy link. Paste. Oh, Google. Google. Alright, move 11, you're next. Last. But for a donation, you can make your game further up in the list. Yul Skinner went to Russia. He's going to a tournament in Russia. Alright, this is Laid Back Goon. Okay, so Arsenal fan, 100 move game. We gotta move a little faster. Knight b4, knight d4, a6. It takes a lot to get him to play a6. Man. Now, the moment of truth. I like it. Yeah, even a bad bishop is better than the average knight. Don't bring the hash oil. You don't have to bring it, they'll supply it for you, Chessy, bro. No need to bring your own. Alright, b5. What a silly question. Now there's one hole here on c6. Probably not that relevant. The astrobate maneuver has been kind of cut from the script here. I love the way that Arsenal's playing this. He's got uber bishops, super queen on h4, monster knight, rooks. It turns out this is a 100-move game, but I'm wondering how the game lasts more than like 30 at this point. I mean, Arsenal has to blunder catastrophically. He has a massive advantage here. He's all over this guy like a bad suit. Damn, you have a beautiful position. I'm looking for tactics. We want to play f5. But it's probably not working. Yeah, here's the question. Do we want to think about e7 for your queen rather than d8? Mr. Sloan just gifted 4 gift subs. King Shield, good one. Merles. Bob Sakamano got a gift sub to go with a matching gift sub for the Manic Master. You accidentally got Bob, and then Lord Blitza. Maybe if you donate another 10 gift subs, it'll take your mind off Bob. You can water it down, Mr. Slow. Donate another 10 gift subs. I mean, I don't mean to be not grateful, but if you donate another 10 gift subs, like less percentage of your gift subs were gift subs to Bob. You can like lower the proportion of gift subs that you gave to Bob, basically, by donating more gift subs. If that maybe makes you feel better. Astrobate just gifted a tier 1 sub to Juicebox Wizard. So anyway, Arsenal, queen, the full queen retreat. I'm not sure if it's better to play queen e7. There is an idea, queen e7, queen f8. But I think you have more pressure here. If he plays that move, I mean, we've got to consider f5. And you've got like lateral protection here. That was a really key moment. I don't know. My gut instinct is that e7 is better. So he's neutralizing your bishop. The farmer would consider f6 here. Played some sick moves sometimes in the Benoni. I was like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. He would do anything. Sometimes he would do anything to like avoid exchanges. I was like, man, that's awful. You gotta be kidding me. How about bishop f8? Seriously, like maybe we'll retreat it for later. No, I don't really like this. Alright. We probably have to exchange it, but now your king side's a little bit weakened. Man. Wow, you got a pawn snack. Arsenal fan. Victor Arsenal fan. Grabber of pawns. I mean, it's hard to resist this, though. I mean, this is a protected passer on the 6th, 7th, 5th, whatever that is. 5th rank. F4. Don't worry, just don't panic. Bring the knight back. Yep. And now F5. Here we have another interesting position. I think you have to keep an open mind here. G5 looks like a no-brainer, but it might not be the only move. We should probably consider like Queen G5. Consider it. I'm not saying it's good, but consider it. Like this sort of thing, if you got an ending. Yes. Pretty messy. Nah, not liking it. It's looking like you had to do it. Wow. So Mr. Passive is now like Mr. Aggressive. He's suddenly gone for the jugular here. But I guess White has no real choice. Man, this is kind of scary. So knight f4 makes a lot of sense. You're threatening knight takes d5. You're blocking him. Height train is close. Spectacular Camel just subscribed to tier 1. Height train is close. Wow. We get a hype train tonight. We can get another one on Sunday. Have double hype train week. Friday night. Drinking stream. Guys, you have 47 seconds for the hype train. That's not much time. Hurry! Oh no. Hype train incoming. We made it? Because of Spectacular Camel Mr. Coffee. 500 bits. Coffee put us over the line. We have a limited time to earn exclusive emotes. Alright, knight f4, nice move. Thanks for the gift, Mr. Coffee. I hate bishop b7. But maybe it's not bad. This feels like safer somehow. But it probably doesn't matter that much. Alright, here. Mr. Coffee, what just happened? What just happened? What did we do? Mr. Coffee just donated 1,000 bits. We reached 100%. Asterbait gifting tier 1 sub to the community. To Vidya, Pati. Wait, I don't understand. We went over the hype train twice? That was weird. Am I seeing it in a different place? Level 1 complete. Pooty Chess is rating with a party of 8. Okay. I guess we went over the hype train twice. I don't understand, but whatever. Mr. Coffee with the gold... Sorry, diamond. Bit diamonds. Thanks, Pooty Chess, for the raid. 1,000 bits. This is Arsenal's masterpiece, 100 moves, and we're only through 30. Arsenal, we could do a whole stream about this game. I'm going to have to go a little faster here. He wins a second pawn. No, it's a queen trade. Ah. Alright, the queen's off the board. It's game over, dude. It's game over. That's all I need to see. This is game over. I mean, you got this 3-on-1 on the queen's side, and the queens are off the board. No excuses here. This guy is lost. No, that was a very bad thing for him to let happen. The queens get traded. Absolutely. Man, this looks like a joke now. Wow. You have to be totally winning. You played rook e5. It looks a little awkward. Perhaps that's not the best move. What's the most important thing here? Quick. Quick, quick, quick. What's the most important thing? Have a plan of action in the ending about how you're going to win the game. What is the winning plan for black in this position? King safety. King safety is important. It's one of the most important concepts, of course. Mr. Slow just donated a bunch of gift subs. Can't even keep track. 10 gift subs? What is that? Wow. 10 gift subs. Level 2 complete. Ricardo. Cabbage A. Goo. Haven't seen him in a while. Anlam. Hop Deal. Marco Ivan and Mayush. Among the players getting gift subs. Thank you. Mr. Slow's super generous, man. No, Arsenal, I think you want to get these connectors going down on the queen side. D5 looks monster, but E5 is the problem, right? So that's why Arsenal, one of the reasons why Arsenal played rook E5. But I don't think that's the plan here. I was thinking rook C8. Because it's just rook c8, and then we go a5, b4. And you're also just like behind this passed pawn. You're scared about getting the king mated, but let's think about it now. Put yourself in his shoes. How is he going to mate you? He's going to put his rook here, and then what? In order to mate you, I don't know, you've got an evacuation here to e7. His knights look awkwardly placed. Knight on f6 is good. I don't believe it, man. I think you're not in any real danger here. I mean, it looks to me like you're perfectly safe. If you're worried about your safety, I mean, maybe like just king g7 and you've got like rook h8. I think you're seeing ghosts. I mean, it's always good to be careful, but I really don't think so. His pieces aren't well coordinated. But I'm not certain like rook e5 is a bad move. I think d5 runs into this, and this is a problem, most likely. You do not want your knight like chased off of f6. My gut instinct is rook c8. Let's see what the oracle says. Yeah, well, you know who's your daddy. Okay, I'm right. Arsenal was afraid. You know, but it's good you're concerned about prophylactic stuff. And he did get in d5. I mean, to be honest, this looks pretty convincing. Now he's starting to bail out. There's a check here. There could be traps. Now he definitely doesn't have an attack with another piece set off the board. This should not have lasted 100 moves, Holmes. There's no way. I don't know, maybe which way to take is kind of tricky. Ah, that's the problem. See, that's why we want to put our rook on e5. Oh no. So you could have played king takes. But you have knight takes e4 check. Is that good enough though? I mean, should we take this way, allow the check, play your king up, and then he's like harassing you? I get it. So I'm hallucinating. So you lose the exchange, you had to sack it, and now it's messy. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how your time was, but this shouldn't have happened. You went from totally winning to clearly better. You know, and I don't know now if you're winning at all. You got to be a little careful, even. This is a totally different situation now. That looks weird. Knight g4 looks very strange to me. Can we coordinate? This is a tough position. I don't know. I'm not certain you're winning here. Yeah, computer calls it like close to equal. Wow. Rook e5 was a big problem. But to be honest, like, you shouldn't have a problem like drawing if you're worse. That pawn's very dangerous. And now what, like bishop c4? Now you can like get mated. That's great. Do you have f6 check and bishop c4 here? We received level 2 hype train emote. Thank you guys, Mr. Slow. Knight d6 instead of knight f6 was possible too, Smokecraft. Let's share some emotes. Mr. Soham making it possible with a 10 gift sub donation. Mr. Coffee, Acerbate, and Mr. Slow. Those three guys particularly. Everyone, thank you for your support. What about f6 check? Just so he doesn't play it, you know. Here, obviously he can play other moves like king d4. Sorry, your bishop's hanging, never mind. Never mind, or is it? Oh shit. This works? f6 check, king takes d5, knight f4, check. Oh, is that important? Knight takes f4, queen. Wow. And then like rook check. It looks like he doesn't have enough. Yeah. This doesn't get away though. King e8. And we're winning. Looks like you actually have f6 check. But amazingly, according to the engine, black is winning here. I didn't think that would be possible. Wow. Okay, so you played bishop c4. This position, I meant. Yeah, f6 is the second best move. Okay, f6 works. But your move's just as good or better. Cheesemate, welcome. Subscribing at tier 1. Alright, there we go. Had to wait. Spam your emotes. 5 minutes. Mr. Coffee didn't turn off the 5-minute delay. Sorry about that. Cheesemate, thank you for subscribing. Guys, we're booked up with game analysis because Mr. Smith made it a 100-move game. I'm going to have to go faster, dude. We don't have all day. Cheesemate, thank you. So, oh, you did? Okay, cool. Then I take it back. Ask me to give to the tier 1 sub to Pooty Chess. Man, I got to have more Friday streams. This has been a success. 91. What? What? 91? I'm sorry? Damn, dude. This is a crazy move. Why didn't you just push your pawn? There has to be a reason Arsenal didn't push this pawn. I don't understand. You won the game in 100 moves, man, but why you can't push this pawn here? That's pretty crazy. Luckily, it's like still winning. Okay, that was his plan. Yeah, I guess it worked. It worked. If it works, it works. I hope you can do like bishop and knight checkmate, man. It looks like you're headed in that direction. Holy shit, wow. Amazingly, like, this is apparently a draw after 92. That's insane. Yeah, very tough technical ending. So apparently here you were winning. I'm going to turn off the engine. I normally don't leave it on. You got the fork there. You keep the other pawn. Yeah, this is going to be a long ending. He drops that pawn, and according to the engine, it's like a draw. Yeah, that's believable. But not to say it's an easy draw, and lots of ways you could go wrong. Are you telling me it's like rook and bishop? A rook versus... What kind of ending do we get here? Wow, you got his f-pawn. Unknown. Yeah, I would play this till the cows came home. Man, he gave you another pawn, but he's got a trick. So you had to give it up. You're going to have to mate with the bishop and knight. Dude, if he didn't make you mate with the bishop and knight, man, I'll eat my shirt. I had a game where I messed up and didn't sack my rook recently. So he did, nice. And Arsenal was able to do the bishop and knight mate. Wow, very well done. You want to get him to the other corner, obviously. Well done. Yeah, bishop a2, good technique from Arsenal. This is correct position. Exactly. Right? And now you got to watch it when he comes out here. Is one of the trickiest positions of all. King f2, knight e2. Great technique by Arsenal. Covering f4, covering g3. And so if he tries to come up to f3, you can just cut him off with like bishop e6. He can't get out of the corner. That's impressive, man. So you know your stuff. Very nice. Now you got to keep him going the right way. Excellent. Arsenal really knows his stuff. Impressive. He's in the corner now, baby. Nice job. That was a long one. That's our first 100-move game submission here to the subscriber stream ever, I think. Move 11. I messed it up twice in Blitz games on the stream. I was like panicking and forgetting the pattern. What is that? The George H.W. maneuver? Wait, who's George H.W.? Yeah, that was perfect technique. I had this thing where I was forgetting the knight. Where was it? Knight E2. The king looks like... The key is like it looks like it's getting away, but it's not. Good job. Alright. This is Mr. Bites, our assistant for the... Otherwise known as Ubatis, our assistant for our subscriber streams. How much time did you have to do that bishop and knight? Was it a time issue? Lecky is black. I didn't see Lecky here. Lecky. Accelerated Dragon. One of our favorites. Bro, what you mean? Who's a George H.W.? Oh, that George H.W. Well, what's the point? Like, I don't get the reference. Why is it a George H.W. maneuver? I wasn't even thinking, like, politics. I don't understand the reference. A W? Alright. No, I never heard anyone say that before. Alright. Yeah, thanks for putting George Bush in my mind. That's what I needed. Knight takes c6, awful, right? This is the, like, Potzer variation. I can't emphasize enough how bad this is for your opponent. Presumably the best move for a couple of reasons. It controls the center, but also, if black tries rook b8, the bishop is a good blocker on b3. Scariest name is a sub now. He feels powerful. Unfortunately, your powers to submit a game for this week are limited because we are at our max. But you can embrace your power next week by submitting a game. With great power comes great responsibility. The best thing about streaming on Fridays is I can drink a lot. Tipsy Tuna was here. Tipsy Streamer. The dark square is too weak. No. Turn in your badge. I want you to hand over your Benoni badge. If you want to play bishop takes c3 in this position, I'll need to see your Benoni badge and hand it over. Man, there was this one line that Roman used to like recommended me to play. What was it again? How was that? I guess in this line, Gingy claimed like he liked this. You know, I was offended by this. I know that Roman like loved to capture, but his plan was like to take here and then play like d5. But I was like, why are you like giving the guy the bishop pair and then like opening the position? It's okay. Like you can see Kirill Gergiev played it and stuff. And Kishpal lost with it against Andrei Sokolov, but nah. I think the important thing is like when you do that, you've got to make sure the structure stays closed. I don't like bishop takes c3 there, but I like it even less here. It's a very open position. Bishops are worth more than knights. Alright, and if you play the Benoni, you know, obviously. Yeah, I mean, and the thing about the Gingy Indian, right, you have a very specific type of structure. Here, 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 here. The reason, and it's risky as it is, but the reason Roman could get away with it is because you have this Leningrad Nimzo type of clog. You know what I mean? That locked pile of pawns is kind of like what justifies the Gingy Indian to some degree. And believe me, like it's not even that great even here, you know, but you got to have some kind of justification where a lot of pawns are really clogged so that the bishops just get blocked for a long time. I mean, really bad players, they get horrible positions like instantly where the bishops have like zero scope. I mean, you know, that's a whole different story. Roman was a strong player. You don't like any of his opening books. Yeah, I mean, he promoted a lot of kind of trashy ideas sometimes. He convinced me to play some stuff that wasn't good. I lost a couple games playing stuff, and you just have to decide for yourself. Some of his ideas are okay. He liked to play half-baked stuff. Alright, d6, rook e1. Castles, queen f3. So I call this like the Nokia variation. Why is it called the Gingy Indian? The sniper of... The sniper before Roman mentioned it. Are you serious? The sniper didn't exist before Roman mentioned it. The sniper wasn't born yet. No, I mean, Roman was playing it since the late 80s. The opening was pioneered by people like Gingy, Igor Ivanov, but really like Dean Hergot was the first. I think Hergot played it back in like 86, 87, 85, 86, 87. We used to call it the Hergot, but that sniper guy doesn't have any claim on it. If anything, like the Canadian IM should get the most credit. Bishop b7 looks weird. I don't like this bishop here, but knight d7 to e5. I don't want to let white play e5. So this move obviously looks kind of artificial. Yeah, white can play e5. What the heck are we going to do after e5? He's like detonating our whole pawn structure. Pawn takes, pawn, rook takes, maybe knight d5. Do you have this? Even if you have this, you know, it's not even that great. Like rook e1, knight takes c3, we're back in this type of structure. It's not that clear. I think the sniper stuff is just that guy with his repertoire with both colors. He's got a much broader take on it, but I remember it going back to the 80s. Hergot never got any credit, or you know, he never wrote any chess books or stuff. I remember he was playing against my friends in the Monadnock Marathon in around 1986, 87. Okay, bishop b7, bishop f4 here. So bishop b7 is bad. Bishop f4 is bad. White needs to play e5 to bust the structure. And then after queen c7, you know, or queen b6 here is a bad move. I mean, bishop b3 looks good. And the point is, like, white's gonna play e5, so you have to focus on that. I mean, knight d7 is forced. 10 games is gonna be a super long stream. We're gonna move. Mr. Soyan, I can bump you up. You donated a lot to the stream. If you need to go, I'm happy to move your game up. I'm gonna do my best to get to all 10 games. But white needs to stop. Just tell me if you want to go early or you want to go earlier. You have the call. Knight a4. No need to donate anything else or anything like that. If you want to go earlier, just tell me. Knight e4 leaves the knight on the side of the board. I hate this move. And most importantly, white's going to play e5, which is the key. But I mean, why play knight e4 when you can play e5? Oh, this is just going to hang? No, he can't. I mean, maybe you like knight a4, but I like e5. c3 is protected. Black screwed up here. You can throw in something like c5, but I'm not sure what's going on. White shouldn't allow that. I mean, black shouldn't allow that. He should play knight d7. And it's at least equal. You'll take a nap, be back in an hour. Alright. Queen b6, knight a4, queen d4. That looks like a dangerous place to put my queen. I would play queen a5 here, and he hung a piece. Sadly, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Funny, I wouldn't have played queen d4. I don't think this is necessarily a good move. I would prefer to put my queen in a safer position on the side of the board where it has like retreat squares. This looks kind of asking for trouble. I mean, after bishop b3, c5, attacking this, the knight comes back, and it's not really clear what's happening. No, there's no trap. The queen is like free as a bird here. White's just lost. No, again, I think I prefer to keep my queen at a safer distance. He goes to the queen trade. Yeah, there again, the queen is kind of exposed. One thing I can't stress enough is that you don't take chances when you're up a decisive amount of material. Ever. If it's a competitive game. This e7 pawn is hanging. That's black's center. He shouldn't have given that up. There's another pawn hanging, but there's a back rank mate. Okay. Yeah, this is like almost like a double attack because you're on that. And he just... Complications. A matter of technique, but we're up too much material. Okay, there's nothing to see here. This should be easy. Don't lose that bishop, please. Just defend it with like f5. He hung a piece there. Ouch. And now it's a draw. White, like, could have taken this pawn on h7. But either way, it should be a draw. This is horrible. Giving way with his king. There's no reason to play that. I don't know. There's got to be good chances for white to hold the draw here. Too much space now. Though this is hanging, maybe it's still a draw. And this is not a draw, this is winning. Yeah, I mean, I think that this was a horrible endgame by white. Black played very inaccurately, but more tactical mistakes. The hardest one to win is this rook and knight pawn. Dude, is this a draw? It is a draw. Wow. Wow. There's no way to make progress. Damn. It's literally a draw. After this, you can't... Well, you blundered here with rook a6 check. You'll just have to go back. Oh my god. So rook a4 and black cannot win. h4. You're totally winning. But here we've got to be very careful. Be very, very careful. So I guess rook b5. Get the rook to a better square where it has, you know, your king has a square on f5. Your rook is at a distance. This is a draw. Amazing. And then white just loses. King and pawn endgame easy. Okay, game 3. Asterbait versus Slumdog. No, El Cam Dogs. By the way, the title of the stream, it's just an April Fool's joke, okay? I hate the London system. It's just clickbait, but it brings in the viewers. Mr. Slowhand Grind with 24 gift subs. This is crazy. He dedicated 24 gift subs today, and he's going to be back in an hour. Asterbait with 15 gift subs. That might be close to our record gift subs for one day. Alright, Asterbait is white against the French. Never trade rooks on the inferior side of rook and pawn. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Good advice from Mr. Coffee. Slumdog Millionaire. Right, okay, so black has checkers. You know, the funny part is, like, white also has white square pawns here. So this is everybody's good bishop. I still think that Asterbait should just simply play knight c3. That's what he does. Bad opening by black. Knight f6. Yeah, here you have a lot of choices. I think everything's good. e5. It's not really a French. It's a French... a Cairo French. e5 is good. Knight e4 and white has like a clear advantage. This is a very strong move, likely. Can I play this? Knight takes c3, a3. Do you have a problem? Do you have a problem with me? I forgot you. Of course I forgot you. Sorry, Mr. Bites. We'll do you next. I don't know why I forgot you. I'm a little bit excited trying to get through this massive number of games. Of course you're next. Our helper, Spectacular Camel. Thanks for subscribing. So this is interesting. We could try like A3. Anyway. Asterbate plays bishop g5. I don't love this move. I'm not sure it really helps us. And the following is not good. Do not try this at home. After h6 you have a problem. Like, how do you defend the e4 point? Bishop g5 is not going to fly. This is not a good move. You have choices. e5, bishop d3, queen c2. Pretty much anything that protects e4 except for the move you played, which is bishop g5. Yeah, now you got a problem because you're giving up your good bishop. I was just talking about that, you know. You have 2 pawns in the center on light squares, and now you traded off your good bishop. This is probably like a reasonable try, getting your pawns on the dark squares. Big center variation to Trompowsky, yeah, similar. Well, the worst thing that Aspie could do is just like twiddle his thumbs and play something like knight f3, because then we're talking about like d6 and then getting a really bad position where black has total control over the dark squares. That's far worse than what he did. This at least... Yeah, now black makes like a kind of typical beginner mistake. Black should be happy that at least he like got rid of that dark square bishop, and I would bring my queen back to either d8 or e7. But instead, this is also reasonable. Instead he plays that. I don't think any good can come out of queen g5. You're only putting your queen on a square where it's going to get attacked again. He wasted time. I'm surprised Asteroid didn't go for c5, but he can't really maintain it because black will play b6. Now black's right to try to chip away at the dark squares. Like, he plays d6 and then d5. I'm like, he's right trying to chip away at the dark squares. He should take here, double the pawns, and I don't know, maybe c5 or something. Maybe knight d7. Maybe he doesn't even give up his bishop, I don't know. Maybe he can keep it. Yeah, why not? I mean, who knows? But okay, he changes his mind. So it's silly, speaking of tempos, it's like silly to play d6. Black played d6, d5, and he played queen g5, queen e7. Bishop trading the bishop pair off. Not really what we want to do. Uh-oh. Acerbates tricked him. He did it to himself. He had this diagonal retreat. Lembedol did that against me. Bishop a5. That was funny when I lost the game, I told you guys. And Alexander Ivanov was like, everyone in the world saw bishop a5 except for you. Because his bishop was like on d8. It went bishop a5, bishop d8. I forgot it was on the board, and then it came back to a5. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that. But now his bishop has no squares. Yeah, that's a classic trap, man. You know, at least he should try to get like 2 pawns for the piece. Acerbate, literally giving him 2 pawns for the piece. This doesn't make sense, Holmes. You're gonna get a piece for 1 pawn here if you take it right away. Instead, Acerbate's like, no, I insist on you getting 2 pawns for the piece with b4. And his opponent's like, no, I insist on not getting 2 pawns for the piece. I just want 1. I said 1. I don't want 2. So instead of taking here, he takes on d4. He's like, no, I only want 1 pawn. I told you 1 pawn. Bishop takes d4, knight e takes d4, c5. It's horrible. And Acerbate's in there. Yeah, this is crushing. It's like Acerbate plays the white side of the semi-Slav. Maybe we got to get him playing like d4 with white. No, I insist on winning the minimum amount of material. They're like fighting over it. D6. This is just a killer. Asterbate likes to submit like overwhelmingly crushing games. He doesn't go for the close games. It's like showing off his most brutal wins and sleazy cheapos. Mate. Alright. Now, Yabatis. Game 2. We're only on game 2 and I'm already finished my beer. Alright, I might need to take like a 2-minute break in a minute after this game. Beer. Welcome everybody. Friday night stream. Very rare. We're doing our game analysis stream from Thursday. Moved on to Friday. Thanks for the support. The Hype Train earlier. Hype Train conductors Mr. Coffee. And HTFP, good to see you. You were here before. Okay. Game 2. Yabatis is white. Dutch versus the English. And Anglo-Dutch. Dubov Ivanchuk. Yabatis is white here. It's too late to submit games, but you can submit a game for next week if you want. Scariest name. You just send me Sparkle Horse here on lichess. Just send me a link to the game on lichess. Or Mr. Bites. Either to Sparkle Horse or Mr. Bites. Not Mr. Bites, Yabatis. Sorry, Yabatis. Iobates. B-Jack, Mr. Bites. It's a little play on words. Bytes, like computer. Memory bytes. Alright. Iobates. Yeah, this is a weird classical Dutch. So black's supposed to play d6 here. There's no games, however. D6, knight c6 is very early. So you went with an early d5. I remember seeing like a Korchnoi game where he did this. Yeah, I mean d5 looks reasonable. Now black has to choose between this or this. The taking on d5 is almost certainly bad. I don't think this can benefit black. It leaves the f5 pawn kind of weak. It segments his pawn structure. But normally you would rather have, I guess, something more productive, like knight d8 or knight e5. But he's going to have to go back. There's really no reason to make the pawn exchange, though. I mean, he might as well just go here and let you take here. It's probably not as bad as what happens. This is a big deal. When he takes on d5, he loses control over that square completely, virtually in totality. He's a totalitarian. Yeah, I don't like what pawn takes. It's really bad. You see, and now there's this huge hole on e6. I talked about Korchnoi, but I don't know what I was thinking. There was definitely a Botvinnik game. Botvinnik. In 100 selected games where he like crushed someone with this type of position in the Dutch, man. This is devastating. It's already like +2 for white. Let's see. Notice my skill with the Stockfish evaluations. +2.4. Even though we're not up any material, our advantage is over 2 pawns. I actually underestimated it. That's a lot, man. Black's in a huge trouble because of e6. It's very, very bad. Like a strategically lost position. And not only that, but he's also got to deal with this. The knight's on c3 right now, but later on we could just pile up on the c file. That's why the pawn exchange is so bad. Let's look at it from that perspective. When black plays when black plays pawn takes pawn on d5, what does it do? It opens the e file for him, half open e file for him, but we have a half open c file for white, and the c file is more valuable, more effective here. So Yabatis played essentially a perfect game until this point. I mean, the simplest thing to do is just drop your knight on e6. And I guess he takes it. You take. You're threatening bishop takes b7. Black would have to play something along the lines of c6. And you just blast him with e4. And it looks like game over. This is pretty tragic. Because you're undermining his white squares. The g4 knight and the f5 pawn. I don't know what else to suggest for black. I mean, you could try something different, like knight to c6 if you want to. But I don't think it's going to make a big difference. It's all about the white squares. That's what she said. Alright. So I don't like bishop f4 particularly. I'm not sure what it does. I'm not sure I'm afraid of g5, but I don't know that I want to like help him. No, this is just a horrible blunder. He's losing the exchange. But Yubata said his knight was so strong he didn't want to give it to him for a rook. The likely truth is that Yubata was just playing quick and forgot. That's a problem, see? The C file. I just mentioned it. So here black doesn't see knight e8. I mean, clearly that's the only chance. Although you can just pile up further. It probably doesn't matter. Ultimately black can't really defend that. Maybe some sort of tactic like bishop d7 and then try to pin. You may be able to defend yourself with tactics here. But this is like totally caving in. It's not good. Ivanchuk style. Boom. Formerly known as the center. So black now takes on b2. So bishop d5 check. Looks like you could win the exchange. For example, takes, king h8, knight f7 check, rook f7, queen f7. Something like clear exchange up with no compensation. Yeah, we'll get mad. I don't want to have to ban you before we go over your game. You just want a piece? You want a piece here? Oh, you want a piece and they take c8. You want a piece. That's good too. That's another way. You could also just like recapture. And on rook takes you have bishop d5 check. That also wins a piece. Really various ways to win a piece. Take your pick. You are winning a piece. I didn't get that far. Knight takes c8. It's probably better than winning the exchange. Well put. Check. And you're up a piece. Very clean. Now you're up a whole rook, to be exact. Doctor counterplay. Whoops. You just teased him with a check first, and then took his rook. Alright, that was pretty crushing. Alright, Astrobate we did already. The next game is Lakey. We did Lakey? Why did I skip? That's where I messed up. I went to Lakey first. Why did I do that? To be honest, that's how I messed up. I don't understand. I jumped forward to Lakey, and then I missed Astrobate and Mr. Bites, and now I'm on Sumaher versus Adamrod. I've also got Ripun's game. Ripunj. Chess Anis. Should you send a PGN? It's too late to submit a game for tonight because we're full. But if you submit a game by PGN, yes, send it to me or Iobates, and I will add it for next week. We do the analysis stream once a week. It is, and you know, the best idea is to submit it like a few days before the stream. 49 viewers. Adamrod. Okay, where was this played? Just a random game? Is it a simul? No. Appears to be like an anonymous blitz game. So you guys know who Adamrod is, of course. It's Keith Arkle, who I know not really well, but we know each other. I played him once 20 years ago in a tournament in York. But he's legendary for his endgames and grinding down 100 move victories. So we'll see if he's doing that here against Sumaher. Alright, Sumaher opening with d4, e6, c4, bishop e4 check. Oh, I recommended Arkle's endings, and move 11 picked up that title. Bishop d2. Make sure you get it on the right website, though, because some people are like hawking it for too much. What else would chess players be doing? I'm a nerd, man. Yeah, who was the other player who asked about submitting a game for next time? Next week it will be Thursday. So, yeah, I mean, here you can play. It's kind of weird, actually. I mean, Sumaher, who likes to play the white side of the Nimzo, why would you not... Oh, scariest name. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was you. Why would Sumaher not play knight c3 here? I've played millions of games with Sumaher, and he always likes to play the white side of the Nimzo. That seems very inconsistent to me. If you're going to play like the white side of the Nimzo, why would you not play knight c3 here? You're basically playing a kind of bogo, which you don't really play. I think you're making a mistake, man. I mean, if the Nimzo's in your repertoire, you should go ahead and play knight c3 here. I mean, knight d2 is another story. I don't know about that, but that's really aggressive, you know, to try to like call black's move into question. Yeah. No, why aren't you playing knight c3? I don't understand. Arkle trades pieces. Well, this is likely to transpose to a bogo, but White has to play knight f3 for that to happen. Make principled opening great again. I lost to Kostic in this. I was mentioning it earlier. Magnus likes this line, like queen takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, d5. That's really annoying. The queen is kind of misplaced here on d2. It's just like hard to really do anything with it, and White has very little. I mean, the fact that Magnus plays this line, I like bishop d2 personally, but I think for Sumaher, who likes to play the white side of Nimzo, this move makes more sense. Not to say black's necessarily going to play knight f6. He has other options. He has f5, c5. So bishop takes d2, knight takes d2 is okay. Knight f6, now he transposed to the bogo. Knight f3, d6. And this is a good move. You know, typically you would think like White plays e4. Probably like the main move is g3. We're going to transpose if black plays queen e7. But one thing you've got to be careful of is like fixing all your pawns on white squares. This is where trouble starts. Like queen e7, bishop d3, e5, and the next thing you know, like all your pawns are on white squares and all the black's pawns are on dark squares, and it's just like you have a kind of bad bishop. I don't think that's great for White. Yeah, taking with the... There was a funny game where, well, move 11, remember, in an example where Roman did like knight f takes d2, but the knight has to be out on f3 for that to happen, obviously. d6. Yeah, king takes d2 goes without saying, not a good move. Mickey Dickhat, welcome. e3 solid. Probably Karpov would play it like this. I've had a number of games with Sumaher along the same lines. By the way, we have had similar games. Queen c2 controlling the e4. Here, black's starting e4 though real fast. And Sumaher got to be careful. Can you play queen c2 now? This is kind of queer that of all people Sumaher doesn't play queen c2. His favorite move in this position, of all people, controlling this square, because pawn takes, knight takes is not really a problem. I'm very shocked at you for not playing queen c2. Are you sure you played this game, Sumahar? You didn't play knight c3, you didn't play queen c2. Are you like playing differently because it's a GM playing black? The Thursday stream, yeah. So this exchange like kind of favors black, I think. You're giving up your strong point on d4. And now queen c2. Okay, now he's like his normal self again. Bishop g4. Now, I like knight g5 here. But it's certainly not forced. Knight g5 is interesting. If he hits you, you know, you come back here. You understand. General idea. Yeah, he's looking to trade pieces, man. This is an endgame player. He's happy to trade pieces. Now, bishop takes f3, and Sumahar has to take with the g-pawn. So his structure is slightly worse, and Grandmaster, who likes to play endgames, got to exchange 2 pieces. Knight c6, threatening knight b4, maybe knight d4 in some positions. Here, stopping knight b4, and now a5. Very expected, the way that Arkel's played this. And white is still okay. The bishop is actually still stronger than a knight. So you played rook g1. I don't know about this. I think I like castle's queenside. It's not that easy for him to open you up. You know, how is he going to open you up? Like sack a knight? No. b5 is very hard to play. I think the sensible thing to do here is castle queenside. Can you explain how to deal with a3, a5? What? Knight d4 is actually winning, or? Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising if Keith missed the tactic. He's a strategic player for the most part. He's not really playing for tactics. Does this work? Well, not in this position, no. No, I'm just saying that idea might be an idea in some positions. Not here. There's nothing to explain. It's just a concept of a possible sack there. Not in this position. Play Booker badly. So this move commits you to not being able to castle kingside. Knight e4, castle. This is a fast game, by the way. Castle queenside, correct. a4, he's locking down. Now that's a problem, maybe. The more pieces you trade here against Arkel, the happier he is. If you had gone back to leaving your rook on h1, you might be able to shove that pawn. So you should castle. Hopefully he castles. Then if we have the same kind of line, you know, maybe knight e4, g6, a4. You have h4. You can try to play h4, h5. Or possibly like something along these lines. Takes here, and then h4. I think that white is okay. White is not worse here. Bars rule. What is that? Happy Friday. Guys, I'm going to take a short break. So Trickster sent me a game for next stream. Who is Trickster? Bear or bar? Oh my god. That's just a variation. Okay. Rook g1, g6, castles. Here, here, here. The more you trade pieces with Arkel, the more dangerous you get. And he snapped your pawn. Oh my god. That's greedy, but he figured he could get away with it. Very dangerous move. So you're shifted back to the H file. Queen f6. Now you're threatening rook dh1. Right? Queen g7. I mean, against a player like this who's so solid and positional, you know, you want to create like a little bit of complications. It's good. f4 was a nice idea. What is this about? Here? Here? Are you sure f4 is good? Takes. C6. And say what? I don't understand the next move. F5? How does that work? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. No, I don't understand. Oh yeah, it does work. Okay, it makes sense. So instead of c6, maybe he should try a different move. What's he supposed to do, though? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Black's play has been very principled. And now the moment of truth. F4. With the idea of queen h2 check. I don't know, man. I guess black's probably slightly better. Computer disagrees. Wow. I assumed black would be better with 2 rooks for the queen, but he's not. Rack it up for Hikaru's theory about, like, 2 rooks being worse than a queen. Okay, the black king's a little more open. Yeah, I liked f4. What's happening there? Yeah, actually on that, the engine thinks that black is alright. Wow. So your move is probably better. But you're giving up f2. What about just f3? Yeah, this is the best move. It's stable. You're guarding your bishop. Your bishop's guarding the pawn. You have queen h2 check. You can take on a4. So if you play that prophylactic move, you're better. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted something fancy with f4. Queen c2 is not such a hot square. Yeah, you just have to play f3. You found it, though. Yeah, now you're better. Wow. Yeah, he's probably happy with the draw now. If he could get it. But you got to think about your pawns, Sumaher. You know, you've got to try to create a passed pawn on the queen side. You really should think about trying to create a passed pawn on the queen side. Man, this looks like a problem. Good idea. Stay active. He's going to start moving his g-pawn, I knew it. This is a bad player to be up against in an endgame. He's also very fast. For an old guy. Pretty fast. Man, that pawn got all the way down there. Unbelievable. Eventually you hung your queen. Did you flag him? Is this non-increment, right? Oh, it's +1. Sumaher got mated. No, it would have been interesting in sudden death. Alright guys, we've got a few more games left. Good try, Sumaher. Mirales, Zen Chess, Mr. Slow, Move 11, and Harry Belafonte maybe if we have time. I'll be right back in a few minutes. Just a short halfway break. Okay, we're back. Very rare Friday stream here. But it's been successful. We have... Did I forget Mr. Slow? He's in there. Yes. Alright, Mr. Slow, let me know when you want to do your game. Thanks everyone for your support. We had a good following today. Game analysis stream. Murales. We should do... Morales, then Repun we'll throw in there. All right, Morales. I didn't see him in the stream. He's playing the Bishop's Opening, which is actually interesting. If you look at what's up, World Loser. If you look at this, if you look at the statistics for E4, E5, there's an interesting little thing I noticed. Bishop C4 has a better score than any other move. It's 35% winning, 23% losing. So it seems more like decisive than Knight F3, but the overall winning percentage is slightly higher than all the other moves. Though, of course, you're talking about... We have to say, like, this move has a very small sample size compared to Knight F3. It's kind of unbelievable. The sample size, 223,000 games with Knight F3. That's insane. And only 7,900 with Bishop C4. Right, no, I said the losing rate is higher, but the proportion of wins outweighs it. You're 35% winning. The winning percentage is 5% higher, the losing percentage is 3% higher. Overall, the overall winning percentage is better. World Loser came for the London system. Sorry to disappoint, man. That's just April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day, good. It's good clickbait, though. Bishop C4. Alright. Yeah, he plays the Urasov Gambit. I don't know. He played it a lot against me. I don't know why he's not playing it here. This is a bit strange. Morales here not playing D4. Which he played against me a lot. This is very dangerous. Like, takes, Knight F3... Knight takes... This is Urasov Gambit. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. Safer for black to play like Knight C6. Anyway, I'm not going to say that Bishop C4 is not a good move. I think Bishop C4 is a good move. It also avoids the Petrov. So here black has Knight takes E4. I remember this really epic game on time. Between Patrick Wolf and Shabalov, it's in the list there. But, Shabalov, Wolf. Bishop C4, Knight C3, now Knight C6. Okay, so this goes back into kind of normal Vienna game. D3. Knight A5 is the main line. Black instead played Bishop C5. Okay, this is definitely a reasonable move. And now F4. The question is F4 or Bishop G5? And I don't know. F4 seems to be the mainline Vienna. And I think there was like one of Alyekin's games. Alyekin in his earliest recorded games, one of those was like a Bishop G5, if I remember correctly, when he was a kid. The very first games in Alyekin's collected games is one of those. F4, D6. Kasparov Caruana. Okay, so that's some Sinkfield Cup rapid or blitz crap. Knight F3, castles, and now F5. Hey, one of our other VIPs, what's his name? Somewhat Unsound likes to play this. So basically you clamp down, and black needs to play like C6 and D5 to break out. It's very sharp. But I mean, the knight's in the way of the breakout plan. So black takes forever to free yourself, like Knight A5, C6, D5. Diversified portfolio. You should have a diversified portfolio. Okay, so this move screams of like unprincipled. That is not a good move by Batman. He doesn't realize he's playing the Morales, who's basically like master strength with that 2004 rating. My first thought was like queen e2, and I was looking at knight to d4, knight to d4, like pawn d4, queen takes g4. This is over. We're already just like losing. So even queen e2 is good. I think if you play queen e2, maybe black. I don't know what to suggest. I mean, there doesn't look right. Knight g4 is just not right. So Morales actually goes crazy. He goes knight g5. There are games here. Wow. That I didn't expect. Why is it bad? You don't see what's wrong with knight g4. Arsenal, I welcome you to the principles of the chess openings. You don't move the same pieces twice, right? He's violating fundamental principles. He's taking his knight away from controlling the center and moving it twice. Like, if he moves any knight twice here, it should be the other knight, so that he can play like c6 and try to break in the center. Like, he's trying to fight for the center. I mean, this move, you've got no real threat. I mean, knight f2 is not a threat because of rook f1. White hasn't castled and played f4. I think control of the center is like way more important. I mean, White has wasted no time. He's been developing the whole time. He's not. He didn't castle, but he could still castle queenside. He didn't lose any tempi. He's been playing very efficiently. f5, the only move. That's arguable. You could argue that f5 was a loss of time, but in order to prove it, it's not so easy. But I mean, honestly, castling or not castling, this is a closed position right now, so I don't think that it's unprincipled. No, I don't like knight g4. It gives me the creeps. That looks like something Asterbait would do. Knight g5. I'm surprised that we transposed to something here. Bishop f2 check. Obviously, king somewhere. King f1. Weird. Okay, so here he would at least like pick off one of those pieces. What about king f2? That's not an option. Okay. I don't know. I need more beer. Bishop takes e3. Wow. So that's interesting. So maybe knight g5 is also a mistake. Morales. Queen sack. Thank you from the peanut gallery. Dude, seriously, maybe knight g5 is also wrong. Why can't we play queen e2 again? Bishop f2 check. I guess that's the argument. King f1. Rook f1 is an obvious idea, but then we have that. We've got to give up our dark square bishop. We lose a premier attacking piece. But I mean, this one is still good. So I guess like a3 and white's still better here. The engine doesn't quite agree. The engine calls this totally equal. I thought white was still better, but I think the computer thinks that the castle situation, it's siding with Arsenal on that principle. Okay, knight g4. I don't like it, but this is also probably wrong. So he goes, yeah, greedy. Yeah, I mean, that's just game over, dude. Oh, that line, I need more beer, was my opener. Be right back. That's why I escaped for 5 minutes. You guys thought I was going to pee, but I was really just going to go get more beer. The truth comes out. Yeah, he's totally lost. Materialism. Man, I should make that a new tag. A tag for videos. Materialism. I've never used that tag before. But it's very prevalent, you know. Just so greedy. Someone actually played knight f6 here. Poor guy. So bishop f2 is actually good. King f1, knight e3 check, takes. Well, you still have something, h4. I think these are real players, not correspondents. Grabarczyk might be both. Well, this is actually a pawn sack. This other game. Yeah, you gotta be careful with Morales. He probably knows this. Damn. The queen is trapped on the wrong side of the fence here. This is pretty funny. Queen e3 check. King h1. I think that white is better, true. Anyway, it was just a blunder. Knight f7 is crushing. There's nowhere to hide. No immediate knockout, though. What? Are you even kidding me? I said there's no immediate knockout. Wow. That's why he submitted the game, because otherwise it would have been just a routine win. To be frank, if I was lazy, I probably would have played like rook f1. How does this work? It's brutal, right? f6. It's just f6, man. No. No, f6 is just mate. That's the game. Game over. There's no way to guard g7. Because we double attack g8. Queen f6. Wait for it. There's got to be a mate there. That's mate in 3. Yeah, queen f6 is the best move. Queen f6, king h7, queen f7, and queen g8. That's definitely the best line, Arsenal. You got it right. You're right about that. No, you might be right about the other thing. Alright, great game by Morales. Brutal as always. Now I'm going to go to the game from Repunj. Arpontus. Repun. For those of you who submitted a game, I'll include those for the later submissions. I'll include for next week. It'll be Thursday. Normally the stream is on Thursdays, but we're having success with Friday night. 52 viewers. We go over games submitted by the subscribers to the stream. We had almost 40 gift subs today. Yeah, it's typical Morales. Alright, here's study. Second game. Alright, this is Repunj. So this is an over-the-board game. Repunj against Avinya. It's a Caro-Kann. Bishop f5, yeah. I'm of the opinion that we probably would be better off with bishop f5 from the black perspective. h4, h5. Here, don't play knight f3 like Yabadis. Bishop d3. There's also c4 and bishop g5. All of the above. Although I think that's analyzed kind of to death. I think the bishop g5 has been analyzed to death, probably. c4 is the current main move. And bishop d3 is an option. What's this? Schieberspieler should be here. He likes to play this with black. I'd like to see Repunj against Schieberspieler. So bishop takes d3, queen d3, and then it's a question of e6 or queen a5 check. So there's the idea of like queen a5 check, knight d2, and if queen a6, you play c4, blocking the exchange of pieces. This queen has good range like laterally. You're not going to exchange queens, that's the idea. If you exchange queens, white doesn't have much. Or anything, maybe. So this is a problem. We don't know where to go here. It looks like the number one move is bishop g5. That's probably best. So knight f3. And now knight e7. Also a natural move. We're following Hikaru game with black. Now bishop g5. Queen b6, attacking the pawn. And then you don't want to waste time with stuff like b3. Here for the chess vids, we're going well. It looks like the mocked Masters' last ever tournament game before he didn't show up here. Before he bailed on our tournament in Balaton in 2017. Yeah, he sacked the pawn. Man, white has a very good score here. Very good score. Look at the score. It's just brutal. 70% winning chances. Put it in the garbage pan. I mean, it's no good. Yeah, queen b6 isn't going to fly. So I guess you have to do queen a5 check. This is also bad. Wow. So black did something wrong. You have to do it right away. Either queen b6 right away. Caruana played this. So that doesn't give white time to like sack the pawn. That's interesting. There's no time to play bishop g5 now because we just like, isn't there? Wow, there is a game. Richard Francisco, that's from 2014. Oh my god, maybe this is my friend's line. There, you trapped the queen on a1. This is interesting. One of my teammates had a game like this some years ago. The idea is to like trap the queen on a1, like you give up the rook. So even this is possible. Wow. Yeah, this is too dangerous. Queen takes b2. Castles. Apparently you can take it. Wow. That's funny. None of these guys took the pawn. I think my processor is too slow. Very likely like black's in trouble here. Castles. Oh, you've got queen b5. Why is it unmoving? Is Repun moving pieces in the study? Why did that move unmove? Yeah, this is not clear. More questions than answers. Alright, anyway, knight e7 here, queen b6 here, c5. That looks early. That looks dangerous. c5 is not a developing move. Yeah, c4 is nice. Like, blast open the position. I would just probably look at castles. Bunch of games here. Making castles just developing makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's unclear if there's benefit in this. I wonder if black maybe even plays queen c7, doesn't go for the pawn. I guess you have to take it. I'm allergic to taking that pawn on b2. And now black castled queenside. He's in trouble. Castling queenside is not an option I'm too keen on here for black. If you're not taking it, you really shouldn't play queen b6. I hear you. I don't disagree with that, Arsenal. Yeah, black's just outstripped in development here, big time. There's a lot of problems. But I don't know. Does he have another option? Honestly, I don't know. I don't play these lines much with black. So he castles queenside into that pin. And the C file lineup. A3 exclamation point? Really? Well, alls I know is if you trade queens, you're going to have a problem. You don't really want to simplify. I would think that black could potentially sack the exchange. Maybe like hold a draw by creating like a fortress. Nah, he's down a whole exchange. He can't do that. So the knight 96 was pretty dangerous, actually. But you could consider finding a way to not trade queens. Wow. I mean, black didn't want to see the knight coming to d6, but he should be happy to trade queens. So queen c4, what? That's the variation I put in. Queen c4, knight takes. What do we do? Maybe rook d7? It's possible that black can survive here. Rook d7 protects f7. Yeah, it's too slow. This doesn't look good. Maybe we can sack the exchange again. Get a pawn for real. Yeah, I mean, like the max is black gets a pawn for the exchange if he's lucky. It's going to be a tough... No, we have to sack the exchange here. It's going to be a tough ending to hold. Doesn't look too good. But I don't see how you defend. Yeah, I mean, objectively, it looks like rook d5 was a good try. Didn't change anything. That's actually what happened. Except black played knight d5. Okay. Maybe this is more interesting. Knight on d5, just shielding the d file. Yeah, I don't know what white should do here. I would assume like attack down the c file. But I guess black has king d7. There's some interesting stuff like rook c1, king d7, rook takes c6. What do you do? King takes, knight e5 check. I'm beginning to wonder about this. You know, maybe rook c1 is pretty dangerous. Bishop e7 is an engine move. Wow. The engine move was played. The engine move cometh. This is a bad file. We trade rooks, black's probably lost. He needs to block. Yeah, so there's still practical chances, but yeah, it's hard to like this g6. Right? Wow. Black steals the c file. Uh-oh. Yeah, good move. Black's hanging on. Wow. What just happened there? Oh no. f4, h4, rook d4 blunder, hg3, and now this knight f4 is hanging. Oh man. And so Ripon went into a lost ending. Wow. That has the look of time pressure. So he was winning, black was hanging on, and then things went haywire. Sag. Your L key doesn't work. Don't worry, I've got a lot that don't work. Yeah, I don't like this move, but it looks like black is just about hanging on. White's like plus 1.5. This is like one of his first tournaments. He's 1500 FIDE, I guess. But it's a tough win here. It's a really tough win. It's a good game, like decent game. But they went crazy in time pressure. And my god, like white should be lost. Yeah, he lost it. Alright, now kind of a sad game. Like, white never should have lost. He had no losing chances, like, the whole way. HCFP, you like that. Alright. Zen Chess, Slow Hand, Mr. Move 11. Uh-oh. We gotta sync it. What's happening here? Who's in my study not letting me sync? Is that you, Yubades? Yeah, so, alright. Zen Chess is playing this FIDE Master. Oh, is this a training game? I don't know why it wouldn't sync for me. But you're the only member in the study. Knight f3, d6, d4, take. And black plays the dragon. Man, nobody plays the dragon these days. Let's see. Not easy for Zen Chess, though, who's been playing a lot of different stuff. Grand Prix attack, kind of closed Sicilians, Bishop b5. So he's been mixing up different stuff. It's a mainline castle queenside dragon without bishop c4. Now mainline, d5. And I played this queen e1 a little bit years ago. This is actually not the most common variation. But I think it's one of the most interesting. I bet there's not a lot of recent games. Nothing since 2019, but there's a few here and there. e5. So I haven't looked at this in a long time. I don't think I ever got a tournament game in this. No, Hikaru was playing the dragon for a while, right? Gawain Jones. A few people. This line is why I play the Marazzi. The Marazzi? What are you talking about? Marazzi's an accelerated dragon. Yeah, if you could play the Marazzi, I'd play it every time. Bishop c4. So Anand Nakamura, Duda Nakamura, and Jones. Yeah, I remember when Carlsen beat Jones, when he was like a piece up. I mean, Jones was like a piece up in that game for 2018. There was some crazy thing that happened. Magnus was totally lost and won. Yeah, it looks like the dragon has been out of business since 2018. Only Mamadov. Dragon is under a cloud. Yeah, this guy knows a lot of theory. I played a game with him in a Nimzo, the Sako chess. He played he got very, very deep in a A3 same-ish Nimzo against me. So he seems like a theoretically pretty booked up player, what he plays. Very fast. I didn't like his A3 Nimzo particularly. I'm not sure I like his repertoire, the dragon and the A3 Nimzo. That's definitely kind of weird. I played the dragon and the A3 Nimzo with white. Alright. Queen c7, main line. Bishop c5, fd8, queen h4. Yeah, this is all theory. You should probably consult some books on this. I guess Move 11 and I looked at this a long time ago. Move 11, are you still lurking out there? Do you remember? We talked about this variation, though. We weren't sure. I think you like G4. Wasn't it, I believe it was this exact variation. That G4 was critical, according to somebody. So that may well be better. Sarawan, the A3 Nimzo. I don't know, Yaster's a very, like, strategically correct player. I don't really see him doing that. But possible. You mean A3 in the English. Queen 8, your other A3. Queen H4. This is, like, technically not quite as good, somehow. G4. Although I don't remember why. Bokharov. Bokharov versus Carlsen. Pontus Carlsen. That's funny. I don't remember Bokharov's first name. I don't remember an I. Is that his name? Weird. Okay, take here. So it looks like you let him off the hook somewhere. Okay, so this position is all book. G4. Just kind of like doesn't impress that much. G5 is ugly. That's horrifying. That is a seriously horrifying move. That was played in one game where black won, ironically. Pretty strange. So it looks like Zenchess has to play G4 right away. And this is the best. Now knight F4. And you get something pretty similar. Bishop E6, knight E6, bishop D6. Queen B6. Queen C3. Knight D4. So like a long forcing variation. Man, there's games from 1998 here. Dude, that's crazy. Well, I mean, this is not a trendy variation. I don't know. Queen E1, I didn't think was considered to be the main move. But I'm really interested in this position. G5. That looks awful. Like Magnus Carlsen versus this guy. I don't know, man. It's a 90 move win. I find G5 offensive. It seems like strategically that's like capitulation. Everyone else played knight F4. I mean, it's... Why isn't that just a better move? It looks awful to play G5. You kind of like sell out your pawn majority. Now your pawns are kind of fixed, they're on the wrong color. Yeah, I think that's a serious mistake. You can play C4. You can play knight C3, but he'll be able to play E4. So explain to me what happens on C4 here. Yeah, but Arsenal, I'm not even like trying to play H4 necessarily. I mean, maybe, but I'm looking at this position more in terms of the endgame, you know. We have a majority on the queen side. We have majority on the queen side. Black's majority is like frozen. We might play H4. We can kind of have an advantage on both sides of the board, I think. I'm not sure either side has like a direct attack, but why not C4 here? And I feel like it's like kind of forced, to be honest. White's just better. Computer doesn't like it though. It wants to play like Arsenal fan. It likes. Okay, Zenchess's move is better. All right. You guys want to play for mate? Play for mate. It's up to you. So that's a good improvement. Zencha seems to know what he's doing, but I mean, we're now getting a lot of exchanges, so the so-called kingside attack is kind of stalled out. This guy is like, he's Armenian, so he almost can't be a bad endgame player. Is that like legal? Can you be Armenian and be a bad endgame player? I don't know. Queen A5. Oof, he's on this and this now. So that looks like an issue. I don't like what happened here. Zenchus has nowhere to go but forward. Yep. King E1. Where do you want to go? I mean, even E2 is possible. Now you have to make a draw of a rep. Wow. I expected a rep draw immediately. Nice. He tries to win. I feel like the thing got out of control. You know, this is why I just wanted to play an endgame and just play C4 and be slightly better. It got kind of out of control. It's pretty funny. It's a perpetual anyway. White's always got this perpetual with knight f7, knight h6. So like pretty much everything's a draw. Interesting games in chess. I don't know how much of the opening was like your preparation. But I mean, if we take one last look at that, the key to the game was like when you went with h4. Yeah, he's like playing. He's in trouble. So rook d5 is really bad. It's not bad. So g5 is really bad. Well, there's something really bad. Yeah. So g5 is just really bad. Yeah, okay. He didn't know that line well enough. Alright. But anyway, you should have been better. Mr. Slowhand. Been waiting for an hour for his game. This is Mr. Slowhand versus Laid Back. Ooh, this is a blitz game. Mr. Slowhand is very strong and capable of a lot more than 1963. He's playing white here. White in the French. That's the one opening I've never really played against you. I don't play much against anybody. You should try the French against Mr. Slow. So it's a winnower. Nice. Haven't seen a winnower. A3. And he plays the Putians. The Putians variation with bishop A5. Mule Skinner. Not a big game. Okay. Well, I also only really know B4. CD4, knight B5, bishop C7. Yeah, these positions are confusing. So F4 protecting the pawn. Obviously that's critical. I think I tried to play knight F3 before, but it didn't go so well. F4 is better, protect pawns with pawns, as they say. The problem is when you get to this kind of situation, I never know like whether to take the bishop or like take on D4. It's so tempting to want to like take that good bishop on C7, but trading pieces relieves black's like cramped position to some degree. So it looks like vast majority of players play bishop D3. Here you played bishop B2. There's almost no games. Now bishop B3, so a possible transposition. What about this? I mean, is there something going on here? Where you like leave your bishop over there on B2 and do you have some kind of issues? I hope you're doing great. Stonewall Leningrad Dutch. Thank you. Well, I like the Leningrad better. It's more fluid. That's always been my opinion. If you want an opinion on the Dutch, I would choose to play the Leningrad. They say that Carlsen plays this so well because it avoids exchanges and leads to very long, complicated games, which suits Magnus's style. Alright. What is that? Wow. Yeah, a5, not a move I would have even considered. That's a super strange move by black. But maybe it shouldn't be. The knight is sitting on b5 like a boss. After that, I was expecting black to play like a6. You know, wouldn't most people do that? Like, even though it's not a good move, that's kind of what you expect. Black's 2067 though. This is a blitz game. A5 makes sense, forcing the break of the queen side. But we can always take and play b5. That's what he did. Basically, Mr. Slow did the expected continuation. The expected refutation. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's something here. But I don't think that black can play f6, can he? I mean, black could get really weird and play maybe like bishop b8. Try to keep his dark square bishop. But I mean, this must be a fantasy. You could also play knight f5, I guess. Suddenly some games popped up. Mr. Raimundo was my elementary school principal. Dada played the Leningrad sometimes. Though I always thought it was strange they got to play the Dutch. He started playing the Dutch at some point. Too much Hikaru Nakamura influence on the later Gadakamsky, I guess. He was never a big opening player. Knight c7, queen c7, b5, and then knight d8. Knight d8 is great. It's stuck there, but maybe it can creep out to b7 and c5. Damn, Mr. So has a brutal space lock here. Can you get him out the airlock? I feel like some science fiction movies. Mr. Sohand is... he is the alien. They're trying to, like, push him out the airlock. You're never going to get him out the airlock now. I mean, this is serious. Bishop takes d4, space, power, kingside attack. Where's Mr. Coffee? Let's talk sci-fi. Mr. So took with the knight on d4. Even that might be good. I don't know why I want to take with the bishop. I kind of want my knight to go to g5 at some point. Look how slow black's, like, any chance of survival is. Getting this here so you can come here, and then eventually in there. It takes forever. Is bishop takes h7 winning? I didn't even consider it. Let's just see. Too easy, Uber Driver. You're always looking for the easy solution. Well, f7's protected. So here, check, king f8. How do you like that? Probably is winning, because white has like a4 at the end of the day. And some kind of... possibly some kind of bishop a3. Look at that conscription. What do you call it? Constriction. I'm Bruce Willis. No, don't make fun of Bruce. I have aphasia too, I think. Rook b8. Man, look at those pieces. Just totally boxed in that little shoebox. That looks awful. Black's totally lost. Even like up a piece, he's totally lost. It's +5. +4. Okay, but the big question is king g6 or king h6. Actually, you know what, Uber? King h6 looks like a problem. Do we have a problem? See, here's where you wish your bishop was on c1. I remember I had a blitz game against like Lenderman where he mated me a million years ago. One of these things where my king was like on h6. It looks like an issue. How are we like not getting mated here by queen h3 and queen h7? Oh, you like queen d3 better? Because you got the mate immediately and then hit him from this side? Mr. Slow probably has it. Oh, it doesn't work? What? What are we missing? Holy shit. Of course, queen takes c2. Is that a problem? That's why we need the engine to double check all of our stupid ideas. Mr. Slow would never miss that, man. He was probably calculating bishop takes h7. Spinal Tap Chess wouldn't miss it either. He's constantly playing for those like brutal tactics. Mr. Spinal Tap. What's up, bro? Friday night? I never stream on Friday nights. We know now where to find you. If I need to find you, I'll have to put a stream up on Friday. So b5 was a mistake. So you think you just have it right away? It's like game over immediately. Yeah, dude. How long has this been in the position? Immediately after we played bishop d3. Black's got serious problem. Yeah, I mean that's gonna work. You're right. So you're right and you're wrong at the same time. International Master Spinal Tap Chess. Laying low. Making his presence known. Long time no see, bro. You had a birthday recently, didn't you? Not that long ago? Alright, bishop d3, bishop takes h7. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Superdriver's good with the quick tactics, so this is definitely game over. You still want the queen coming to c2. Is there any way out of this? I don't think so. Black's best move is like king h8, probably. Yeah, that's winning, man. Yeah, Mr. Slow, he should have seen it, but he said it's not a great game. It's not a masterpiece, it's just a blitz game. Alright. That's why bishop d3 is a good move. Yet another reason why a5 sucks. Yeah, I mean, I was at least looking at knight g5. But I think Mr. Slow just wanted to torture this guy more of a, like, slow. That's why he's Mr. Slowhand. Notice the name, Mr. Slowhand Grind. He's not there to, like, execute the guy with bishop takes h7. He sadistically tortures his opponents. That wouldn't be fun, man. Just play bishop takes h7. At the end of the day, he has a much more satisfying victory. Look at this. Gets more bang for the buck. Bishop h7, man. You just don't even, like, you know, the game's over. You paid your admission and you didn't even have any fun. This way you can, like, just see the torturous look on your opponent's face as you beat them in, like, 80 moves. I said that knight was going to have to crawl back in the game. Ugh. Waiting for the queen sacrifice now. Yeah, this is horrible. Damn, dude, look at that. Who needs bishop takes h7? Yeah, this is the disaster. The worst French ever. Do we have a queen sack? No? Opposite colored bishops. That's one thing I have in common with Magnus. We both like opposite colored bishop endings. It's a lot of fun to play where you're like on a power play. Yeah, this is just brutal. Rook here. Ugh. There's no way there's a defense. Come back here! Probably not the only win. He's got a kind of mate thing going on. But I think this probably works. Man, I'm having weird hallucinations. There's a rook there. Alright, never mind. Yeah, rook there, probably best. Your other queen g5. It's like Lasker's double bishop sacrifice. The f5 at the end. You missed rook h5 by him? Where? Rook h5? Or rook f5? He has rook h5? Oh shit. What an honest character. Mr. Slow points out that we overlooked this blunder. Most people would not mention it, you know. But he wants to punish himself by remembering this horrifying blunder. So do you have a win here? Looks pretty scary to me. I'm not sure this is over. Okay, king f8, only move. Dude, I don't know. I mean, this looks pretty scary. You are lost, though, according to the engine. I was thinking maybe you have some chance. But apparently not. Wow, g takes h. Okay. Actually, you have a better chance with f5 immediately. You shouldn't check the black king. It's not totally over. I mean, there's no way you should resign there. For sure. It was a blitz game, though. We don't expect perfection. You got 10 seconds left. That's the problem. My problem with modern chess. It's just become like... It's crap, you know? You can't play quality chess in a super fast time control. It's almost impossible. But I mean, not bad, you know, for the time control. Thank you, Mr. Slow, for your kind donations of gift subs today. Get You Some versus Move 11. Alright, this is one of our last games for today. Good to see Mr. Spinal Tap Chess from the mainline chess shop. Okay, chess and games. A3, nice. Move 11 facing another brutal 1700. No, this is from last year. This is an old game. Move 11 was only like 2150 strength back then. Now he's really getting strong. No, I mean, I don't think you were too attacking focused, Mr. Slow. Like, you actually didn't play for the primitive bishop takes h7. You were playing on the queen side for the first part of the game. I wouldn't say that. I think you were overconfident at some point, probably. When you missed the queen trap. I'm always worried about getting knights trapped on h6. Okay, a3 is an interesting move. Now, I'm not sure that black should play d5, because you're basically going into an O'Kelly. I have the feeling like you probably shouldn't. Yeah, c6 makes sense. It's basically a reversed O'Kelly. You should play the way you would play against the O'Kelly. You're never confident? Well, I'm pessimistic often, but not always. You know, I have a tendency to be overconfident sometimes. The more strong players you play, you know, the harder it is. If you played weak players all the time, Mr. Slowhand, if you played weak players all the time, you would gain more confidence. But you're playing people like me, who are higher rated on a regular basis. I'm used to playing in like GM tournaments where I'd be like one of the lowest finishers. That wasn't really good for my confidence. I guess you gotta find a balance, you know, to play a balance of opponents. But yeah, it looks like move 11 shouldn't play d5. Because you're going to get a decent O'Kelly for white. This looks good. Knight f3 or d4. But a3 is not so useful here. c6, what else can we do? g6? I would think it's a totally... a3 is really not very useful against the kind of King's Indian setup. You could do that in different ways. You could probably play like d6. This a3 move, not so useful here. What about Arsenal? What do you do after knight f3? No, we don't really want to play d6. Then you're just playing like an old Indian. That's the Simon Williams old Indian class. Play the old Indian against everything. It guarantees you an advantage. No, no. You don't want to play... No, it can't be d6. You have to go for it. Oh, it's like a c3 Sicilian where he's played a3. a3 is lame. No, it's not a useful move for white. Not a very useful move. This is probably the best line. I never really thought about it. But if you reverse the colors in the normal, you know, O'Kelly, like c3 is one of the best moves. So knight f6, same thing. e5, knight d5, d4. Maybe the very best line, to be honest. So move 11 opens it up. So white has e4 here. You know, that looks like a move. I mean, that's the O'Kelly type of response. Maybe we should first play knight f3, though. Alright. Knight f3 first. Force black to play knight c6, and then play e4. What's up with this? Ildar with white against Galiamuva. Man. Galashvili, Sebe Attila. Lots of grandmasters playing white, but they didn't score too many points. Why is this not okay for white? It should be fine. There's knight f4 apparently. So d4 takes, bishop takes f4, pawn takes c3, queen takes d8 check. I feel like white's playing the Evans Gambit. Knight takes d8, it's basically the Evans Gambit. Hey, do you like my pawn structure? But he does have a nice pawn on e4. Gennady Zaitchik, 1978. Strikovich, 2009. Central pawn versus better structure. You make the call. Alright. So what happened in the game? Move 11 plays an open Sicilian, white played e3. Okay, so that transposes to like a Khan, or reversed, or Taimanov. Reverse Taimanov. You don't have to play knight c6, I guess. Move 11 just takes. Bishop d6. And then queen c2 by white. Preventing e4. Obviously white can also play the ultra boring d takes and like offer a draw or something. Here. So move 11 goes for the Marazzi style thing, but I don't know. If you think about it logically, you're playing the Marazzi, but white's already exchanged a set of pieces. Do you really want to do that? Do you want to play the Marazzi with a opponent who's already like swapped some pieces off? I don't know. I think I'd castle and take my chances. You know, I don't necessarily want to play c5. Because when I see this, I see you have a lot of like light square weaknesses. I don't really like that. Kevin Moe versus not Walter Arancibia. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily stop d4, but I'm mostly concerned about the positional aspect. And this is a sheer bluff. I mean, I don't think that black can... Okay, I should go back. I mean, h4 is trash. Like, it's a very trashy move. I get it, but it's definitely very doubtful that this is white's best move in this position. We should mention. I mean, I guess it's not that bad either, but I would imagine white would have a better move than that. Bishop c4 comes to mind. Bishop d3 is obviously possible, but then f5, then e4. You know, that's a very standard sequence in the Sicilian. Honestly, if I was black on like bishop d3, I don't know what I would do. Because now if g6, h4, you know, that makes sense. If h6, yeah, that's what the guy did. That's probably the safest bet. And now white played h4. So very similar. Maybe you're playing Kevin Mo. Move 11. Mo Kevin. I don't like the idea of exchanging this anyway, so you don't have a threat here. And now h5 becomes impossible because that knight is hanging. White's kind of like farting around here. So my first thought is bishop e7. I don't know if I'm like obsessed with the bishop pair, but I don't really want him to get my dark square bishop. Because I'm feeling the weakness on the dark squares now. It's a little breezy around my king side. You just played bishop f5. Alright, that's another way of stopping it. But that can be attacked by g4. Feels like both sides need to get themselves developed. This bishop in particular. Right? We're just out developing. Now f3, that's ugly. Yeah, I mean, I don't like h5 for white. I don't know. He needs to get his freaking pieces developed. Look at that bishop. How can you play h5 while your bishop's on c1? Maybe c4. No? c4, bishop e2? d3? Arsenal suggestion of d4? Extremely dangerous. I don't think you can do that. But let's see. That looks a bit much. I don't know. It looks very dangerous for white. It's only +5. I mean, seriously, white plays knight g5, and then he plays knight e4, but why? White needs to develop his pieces, but he's got pressure like on f7. Why doesn't he make a good developing move here? This has got to be reasonable. Yeah, they just don't develop, these kids today. Knight e4, please. The knight is on a good square there. Why are you retreating it? Attacking without principle. And move 11 played this. Holy my god, dude. That was your white squared bishop? Yeah, I don't think like today's move 11 would play bishop takes e4. There's no way I'm going to trade that. White just like owns the light squares. Again, I don't know what to do. I would probably play bishop e7 and try to hang on. But the last thing we want to do is like give up our light squared bishop. Move 11 would never play this now. He's improved a lot. This is a bad move. I mean, even f takes is possible. Queen takes. Yeah. I hate black's position. Black has a pawn on d6. No control of the white squares. Of course, white has that bishop, but eventually he can get it in the game. Oh, yeah. Alright. So, yeah, g6 is just falling. Yeah, there's really no defense. It's hard to even suggest a move here for black. Wow, g4? That's surprising. I hope g4 isn't like the engine move. It's certainly not. At least I don't have to worry about white being an engine. Look at white's structure. He's like up 2 pawns. And now he plays g4. It's kind of reckless. I feel the only way that white can play that is if it's some kind of computer move. So he's hiding his king on like c2. I guess it was just time pressure. Both sides making blunders and time pressure. But I mean, the moral of the story is really like black's bad, white squares. Yeah, that's not move 11's A game. Alright. I had one more game from Harry Belafonte. I'm going to throw this in here. Quick analysis from a non-subscriber. Move 11, thank you for showing us that retro blitz game. I know you're capable of better. This is a blunder, right? Knight c3 like is already better for black. No? That's amazing that white can... I've done it by accident in blitz when I wasn't paying attention. Maybe Barry's a sub now. Barry got a sub. Alright. That's lucky. Yeah, this is amazing. I've played this move by accident with white. And I've certainly had it with black. I like this line for black. c6 is fine. White needs to play d4 or knight f3. I mean, those are your choices. Another c6 or Alapin Sicilian reversed. That's like 2 in a row. What are the chances? No, actually it wasn't, because move 11 didn't play c6. He should have. Barry Manilow. Yeah, it's amazing how bad this is, though. Like, white isn't equal, he's just worse after knight c3. And you didn't play it. Yeah, d5 is... White can't even equalize here. I guess the best is something like pawn takes pawn. You could even play, like, the Mora in reverse. But this is just too good. You know, take, take. This is really bad. You sack the pawn on d5 with knight c6. Advantage to black. Knight d4. Hodgson Iescas. It's a disaster. It's like knight d4, knight f6, g f6. Very bad for white. White's just toast. So basically the whole variation is just clear advantage to black immediately. The best chance is probably like d3. If white's lucky, he's playing like black in a bad c3 Sicilian and he can almost equalize. So you played like the Kopech system or something here with bishop d6, but you're not taking advantage of white's mistake. Knight c3 is a massive error. I played the English all my life. I mean, I know it pretty well. For a noob. The bishop d6 is playable, but it's not critical. I guess white has d4 now. Yeah, actually, d4 looks pretty strong. It's not a good Kopech Sicilian. After d4, you're in some trouble. Alright, here, passive, bishop c7, knight f3, the ghost of Danny Kopech. You can, of course, play h6 now. White's played not to take advantage of your setup. d6. You know, again, I would play h6 to stop bishop g5. White can play bishop g5 if he wants to. This is a good move. h6, a4, I don't know about that. But I guess it's okay. Maybe white should just, like, develop, you know, instead of moving all of his pawns. The engine says turning into the Roy Lopez with e4. Yeah, somewhere I looked at this reversed recently. It's basically a reversed Roy. So he can play the Roy. You're playing the Roy with black. He's playing the black side on the white side. But a4 looks kind of greedy, like, and you've got a5. I mean, I don't know, man. You got to give serious consideration to a5 here, playing for the dark squares. I mean, obviously he can push. But you can get some control over the dark squares. This is a problem, though. I'm not sure. Is a5 the best move? Not. This is too much, I guess. So you go in the center. The wing attack should be met by a counterattack in the center. That's good. Alright, c takes d5. And maybe he regrets not playing e4 at some point. He has knight b5 here. Aha. And he doesn't do it. But this is obviously of huge importance. Well, this is the problem with d5. You're going to have to give up your bishop. Bishop! How's evaluation? Better for white. Knight takes d5. Yeah, we don't like doing that. You do knight takes d5 if you have to. But if you have to do knight takes d5, then objectively maybe we had a better option somewhere. Maybe you shouldn't do d5 at all then. How about something solid like rook e8? Is this too slow? Look, I'm not advocating the Kopek Sicilian anyway, but it's playable. He should have played knight b5. He missed it. Yeah, I mean, if he screws around anymore, you're just going to be better. However, you maybe should play this. Because b5, you have knight d4. And if knight b5, you have bishop b8. So it looks like this is an error. Because he still has knight b5, picking off your bishop. Now, maybe it doesn't work, I don't know. Bishop b6, a5. I don't like it. I don't want him to get that bishop. You know, we don't want him to get that piece. So you've spent too much time like moving it around to keep it on the board. Now he does it and it's too late. That's ironic. It's crazy. I mean, here, what's he gonna do? Knight a5, and then this. For all I know, you could sack a pawn or something. Maybe a6 is okay. Well, actually, this isn't a pawn sack. Like, he went a piece here. But, yeah, you can give up the piece, Arsenal, absolutely. If you have a strong center and good development and your knights are on, like, c6 and f6, sure. Yeah, it happens in other openings, too. Like, I played the pseudo semi-Slav. My game with Rapport, where I beat Rapport, that's what happened. He went like knight b4 to grab my bishop, but he like, how was it? No, I was white. I grabbed his bishop. Yeah, that's what happened against him. One day I'll make a YouTube video. Alright, now that Hikaru and Rapport are in the candidates, I'll make YouTube videos of my games against them. Though I never beat Hikaru in an over-the-board game. Only draws and a loss. Anyway, Rapport's getting more relevant these days. Alright, queen takes, here a5. So you gave up your dark square bishop. It's not great. I get it, like you want to put your knight on that square, but it looks a little weird. Yeah, I mean, I think your knight is okay. If I were black, I mean, the obvious move is queen c2. But I don't know. You don't want to let this open up. So d4 is kind of dangerous. But if you had time, you might consider it. If you could play like bishop d5 or knight d5. Yeah, it's tricky playing those pawns. Because you push one forward and then there's weaknesses on the other diagonal. But I mean, queen c2 is definitely solid. Like, I would play this move confidently that I'm not worse. I'm black, and I'm definitely not worse. I'm on the 7th. There's always f4 to worry about. You're obviously a pessimist. f4 could trap our bishop on e6. I didn't realize that. We'll worry about that when it comes. But I mean, it is interesting. No, I mean there's a complicated situation here. I mean, like taking, and then playing d4, and his knight's hanging, and you're penetrating on the 7th. It's a position that requires a lot of calculation. I'm gonna bet that black is okay here. Wow. So computer disagrees. Computer says he has a huge edge, +1. And f4 is the engine move. I really thought white was a little overextended. Well, I can't argue with the engine. I didn't think that white's position was that good. Queen c2, wow. Cutting up the dark squares. Yeah, I'm surprised it's that strong. But again, I can't argue with the computer. So knight e8. That actually makes it possible to play f6. I don't know if you were thinking about that. You played very solidly, but this takes away your knight's best square. So perhaps a different point, like maybe here? I mean, if you want to play knight d6. Yeah, it's surprising how big white's advantage was there. And it just sort of peters out. This should probably be a draw. Black's position is too solid to lose, and so is white's. By default, it's a draw. Neither side should lose this position. I mean, I guess he could let you trade the white square bishops and kind of end up with a bad dark square bishop or something. It's like we're trying to do that now, as we speak. And that's exactly what happened. Now, if he plays e4, he's probably okay. So check this out. Now, e4 by black. Exactly what I thought, you know. If he trades the white square bishops, ends up with bad bishop against knight, that's the only way he could lose. And if he has one more move, he can play e4 himself, I think he's okay. He would force his pawns onto the light squares in the center. But this move, bam. Just when you thought it was safe to come out of the water. That's unpleasant. So what happens if he takes? You're checking, taking on d2, but your knight is hanging on d5. So that's what happens. Check, what did I miss here? You have another check on f1. Oh, and there's a mating net with g5. Very nice. So he has to go to g4. I guess g4 is slightly better. He's going to g4 anyway. You will go to g4, but you're getting mated by knight f6. So it didn't matter. He's just mated the knight f6. Wow. Stereophonics. Yeah, the horizon. Yeah, white played, what was it? The c5 pawn. White should be fine here. He should be fine. It shouldn't be worse. Computer gives him, again, a huge advantage. I think it's a little exaggerated. Stockfish really loves the bishops. But, I mean, I don't know that white is, like, winning this position. It's going a little too far. A lot of times the engine's evaluations are basically double, probably, what they would be for humans. I wouldn't be so sure that, you know, white has that big of an advantage. Nice to see black take down the English. Alright, good game. Thanks, everybody, for subscribing. It's been a long one, 3-hour stream. Thanks to especially Mr. Slowhand, Acerbate, Mr. Coffee, and all you guys for your donations and support of the stream. We'll be back Sunday, simul stream. As always, the big one, our premiere stream for the week, is the Sunday simul stream. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, for your moderation, of course. And I'm gonna do We're gonna do... It looks like somebody just started streaming. What is this? We're gonna do a raid. Yeah, I guess we'll do a chess beer raid. Stay tuned. Don't leave us. Chess Boa. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on Sunday for the simul.